All right, so let's go ahead and get into the news for the week. We have James Watkins. He's set to direct DC's Clayface. Now, what I love about this is James Watkins is known for doing horror films,
Hmm.
and he just had one come out. Gosh dang it, I'm looking for it now. I totally forgot. Oh, Speak No Evil. That one just came out recently, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And did 76 million worldwide. Solid for a horror movie. And they're just kind of tapping all these different horror people for this. So I think Clayface is going to be DC's like straight up horror film.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Clayface is the best villain for that?
Yeah, I think so because I'm interested in the horror aspect of him like transforming to that Clayface and then
Yeah.
having kind of like this monster feel of the deformities, if that's the word I'm looking right,
Yeah.
if even a real word,
Okay.
of him constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
So I think James Watkins, with his resume, not just Speak No Evil, but I think one of the most popular movies that he's done is The Woman in Black.
Mm-hmm.
um is right for it. I kind of like what DC is doing with it. It feels like these villains are getting their own feels like genre of movie like Joker,
Yeah.
excluding two, is not it seems like that world fits Joker, just the
Yeah, it doesn't
unstable
fit
of him.
Batman. It's fitting Joker more. Like
Exactly.
it's
So
meant for him. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
so
a
I
good way to
feel
put it.
like this is what's going to be meant for Clayface. I don't know what like other villains will be in the future, whatever we'll get, you know. But yeah, I like how each one is gonna just have a different vibe to it.
And it's yeah, I can't
Do you
think of a
think
better
this will
guy for
carry?
it too. Like I think Clayface is perfect
Yeah.
because it reminds me of The Thing, where it's just body horror.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
like it's just like you watch it and you're like grossed out just to see that kind of stuff. I'm cool for that kind of horror too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I've always said I wanted a Mr. Freeze movie and whatever, but I think yeah, going for the horror, I wouldn't mind seeing. I think it's Swamp Thing's DC's version of it, a
Hmm.
Swamp Thing horror.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, that seems like it's perfect. So
Yeah.
hopefully this works out well. We get more of those. Matter of fact, James Gunn, the mastermind behind DC, and we're all just like worshiping him at this point, just posted a picture where he had a meeting with Zack Snyder
Yeah.
in the writers' room. Are they gonna
Yeah.
team up for something?
I don't know. Maybe it's like something, yeah, to have this expanded Justice League universe. I know that's what he like created already, but maybe bringing his ideas in with James Gunn and having some
Yeah,
collaboration. Maybe something to what was his thoughts like with the dark side, What was to kind of
interesting.
have him in, yeah, to have him
Here's like
back.
the wildest idea. What if he says
Okay.
you can keep going with the DCEU as well?
I could just finish pulling that trigger to my head. Okay. Yeah.
Use all the
Yeah,
slow mo you
no.
want.
That would honestly, if I heard that news, that would honestly kill. Oh man, I think
Everything.
so. I think this would kill, yeah, my whole excitement for what James Gunn is about to do with DC. Ah, man, I couldn't. I don't want to see that. I want to see James Gunn's version of Justice League.
Me
So,
too. What I'm
yeah.
hoping he's talking to Zach about is doing more Watchmen because he did the Watchmen movie, and I think
Oh,
he did a
okay. I
really
like
good
that
job
movie.
for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's probably the most accurate to the comic book movie you could think of.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah.
And so, if he was like greenlighting more Watchmen would be really good. It's not just that they're meeting in his writer's room. So it's like,
Yeah.
damn, that is something. But yeah, there are already a lot of bros that'd be like, oh man, this is it. This is what we were talking about. They can't give up on the Snyderverse. It's like, yeah, they can.
Yeah, you can. And
The
I hope
rest of
you
us
do.
have. Oh man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh shoot.
so we've got, I mean, James Gunn, his universe is kicking off real soon with the Superman movie. We just had Creature Commandos, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
And I just rewatched the old, like, 78 Superman movie, and it just, boy, got the hype even higher up. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
super excited for it. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm probably saying this name wrong, so just forgive me on that one. Kateo Sakurai is going to be directing the new Street Fighter film. Now, I like that old school Street Fighter film with Jean Claude Van Damme and shit. What is it that you need out of a Street Fighter film? Like we also have the Mortal Kombat on the way too, but how's it going to differ?
Yeah, so it's almost like, do I want to see what like One Piece is doing, right? Where all that wackiness
Okay.
is still being true to it. So I'm not saying like Street Fighter is being wacky, but I do like those Haryukens. Like let me see some fireballs, right?
Yeah.
Let me see Chun-Li's leg just fucking 100 miles an hour, right? While she's standing on the other. I think that stuff is what's going to like really get us turned on. Um, with all the, it's just if you the more of the references, the better.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried with Sakurai.
Hmm.
Hopefully, if I'm saying that right as well, because the resume is not that impressive to me.
It's all comedy. Yeah, that worries me.
It's interesting, yeah, because he's doing like the Eric Andrew show, Eric
Eric
Andrew,
Andre.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Andre, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I think he's directed a couple episodes of Twisted Metal.
Hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I never gave a shit to watch that Eric show, and Twisted Metal was like all right, but I couldn't tell you what episodes it was his. I'd have to look back and check it
Yeah.
out. But you know,
Even Twisted
that's
Metal
the
is like
worrisome.
it's like also not taking itself seriously, and I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
seeing a Street Fighter that does take itself seriously and like makes sense out of everything,
Oh
because
man, yeah.
the idea that it's just like this global contest, like the old, speaking of Jean Claude
Hmm.
Van Damme again, why as well, he had a movie called The Quest, or there's even like Bloodsport, where it's like an
Hmm.
event where people from all the different countries come together and they fight for
Yeah.
things. Dude, just show us that. Like keep it
Yeah.
small, have some like M Bison's just throwing a tournament on.
I was
I'd love
just
to see
gonna
that.
say, yeah, maybe like that happens, and next thing you know, like at the end of the first one, if they make this like the multiple movie,
Right.
then have M. Bison like, okay, hold on, he actually has a team, and he's trying to do more than just put on a tournament, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, man, you're scaring me now because we're talking about the comedy. I do not want this to be some stupid comedy movie.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
want it to be, you're gonna have some jokes here and there, right? I mean, come
Right.
on, but nothing to where like this is, yeah, like a full like label that's comedy, not like an action
Yeah.
adventure
E
or something.
Honda like
Yeah.
cracking jokes about like, oh, I farted on you or something like that because he's the fat guy in the room. Like, come on,
Okay.
dude. Like that shows
Yeah,
like how
yeah.
tight this could be.
Yeah, I don't
So
need this to be a Marvel movie, essentially,
we
with all the jokes.
right. Well,
Yeah.
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 By the way, did you have a chance to watch the new Captain America? I know you've been
I was
busy.
sure as soon as I was flying in, I told myself I'm gonna catch the showing the day I flew in, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm pretty exhausted. So
Yeah,
yeah, I haven't left to Colorado and haven't really done anything yet.
it's worth the watch.
Yeah,
It's worth
yeah.
the watch.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some good news at us. I think casting's gonna be key. If we see some like people with a background in martial arts, then we're like, okay, this is gonna be a good fighting movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But if like Seth Rogen's tapped for something, yeah, and stuff like
Oh,
that, I'm like, ah,
fucking done.
shit.
Yeah, because I'll even give credit to the Mortal Kombat movie, that more recent one. Whatever. There was
Yeah.
some things I didn't like about it, but it's all
Well,
right.
hell, they tapped. Carl Urban's gonna be the sequel. That buys my price to the theaters right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
This will be so
See.
cool. All right, let's go over to Avatar news. The Last
Man,
Airbender is 20 years old, man. That's how ancient we all are around here.
that's so crazy.
It is. So, but they just
God.
announced Seven Havens. It's a new series. It's going to be taking place after Korra. It's going to be 2 seasons long, 13 episodes each, and it's going to be following the new Earthbending Avatar. But in this version of the world, there's a big catastrophe that happened, and the Avatar is seen as a pariah or to be blamed for the catastrophe. Both humans and the spirit world are hunting her, and she has a twin sister, and they're on this adventure together. Avatar to me is like you really, especially as the original creators are making this, you can't mess it up as long as you kind of stick to the world's rules.
Yeah,
It's just such a fun world to explore.
yeah.
And what is it that you're wanting to see out of this? Yeah, let's go with that. What do you want to see out of this first? We'll go with that.
So this is taking place after Korra, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's gonna
Okay.
be a little bit more modern. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am curious because I kind of like the how the world changed in a way from Avatar to like Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
So what's like the next big step in that universe? Or is it just going to feel like Korra to me?
Great
Um,
point.
um, so I think that's what I'm kind of looking forward to the most. But this is my big but. I want it to give me the story, the feels of how the original Avatar felt, and some
Yeah.
of those were like episodes where I was even busted in tears, and I
Hmm.
still remember that episode. But it wasn't like that. Korra was more of a struggle to finish. I wasn't getting
Yeah.
those same
It was
vibes.
good, but it
So
wasn't like such a surprise to me. Like I think
yeah,
Avatar was so good and it's so out of nowhere. You're right. There were episodes that just like killed me. So
yeah.
yeah, it wasn't. But yeah.
But I'm curious of like the second thing I'll just say real quick is how can they take bending to the next level?
All
Okay,
right. Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
that's bringing them together like the Avatar, how they have them all,
Hmm.
how obviously the Avatar knows it all, but like finding new ways to have combinations with
Yeah.
these elements. I think that's what I'll be excited for. I kind of like how it's the whole sisters on the run type thing. Seems like, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so obviously you're like this massive Avatar fan of it. So
Hmm.
what's like what would you hate to see and what would you be like extremely excited to see?
So one of the big things that happened in Korra is that she severed the ties with all the past avatars. So Korra is
Hmm.
going to be the only avatar that this avatar could reach.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
right. So I'm hoping there's a way to undo that in the new universe, in this new
Hmm.
story, because we need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a real big fan service. If immediately she could talk to Aang, boom,
Ooh,
you just got
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
happy again.
yeah, yeah,
Because they're also making a new movie for Avatar
yeah.
that's going to be, them as adults. Um, that's pretty key to me. And then also, don't advance the technology too much. Yes, we're going to be one generation higher, but we don't have to like get into. I don't know. We already have cars. To me, that already feels like it's a little bit much. So let's not go
Hmm.
crazy. And yeah, let's get creative with how they can bend. Blood bending was amazing, and we saw it as a bad guy's trick in Korra. Yeah, airbending I think capped out when I was able to fly, but there's got to be more out there. So let's just try to toy around with that. And I think there's some room to expand. One of the things that I want to try at one of these points, and me and Jonathan have been talking about it, like at what point do you guys want to, either make new characters for D&D, start a new campaign, take a break from this one, like because that generally happens at some point. Because it could take like 6 years to finish off a campaign sometimes. Anyways,
Hmm.
so they actually have D&D set in
Yeah.
Avatar. So one of these times, I wouldn't mind trying that out with you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I think I've seen like an Avatar board game or some type of game, a role-playing game, at one of these comic
They
book
actually
stores
have
I
like the
go to.
D&D books that are like so that you could use like make
Oh,
the actual
nice,
world and
nice,
stuff. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that'd be sick. Um, I think you brought up a good point with the whole blood bending. I would like to see more of, um, if it's airbending, what is oh my God, I'm thinking like Magneto, right? Like
Yeah.
he do like electric and then the iron in the blood, right?
Hmm.
What's the next level for each element bending, you know? I want to see more of that, you know? I want to see like each of these elements, each like someone studying the element so much that it's enhanced each one, you know? I
I
don't know.
like that idea. Yes, and
Yeah.
how making it even stronger. That would
Yeah.
be nice because yeah, we get creative with it, but don't necessarily get stronger with it or something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's and the other thing too is like when Avatar came out 20 years ago, it was the shining beacon of that kind of animation. Not just
Yeah.
the animation, but also like it's just really good storytelling. It just happens to be animated.
Yeah.
The alternative to that was like Adult Swim, which were fun, but not necessarily super great storytelling. Now we have Invincible, we have X Men
Yeah.
'97.
Yeah.
Like it's just banger after banger. So it's not like it's in an empty room anymore. It's crowded. So
Yeah.
it has to do something to really shine outside of just being nostalgic.
Yeah.
Uh, it's an uphill battle for these guys. But
Yeah, do you think that maybe this whole like harnessing the power and getting to know it better is kind of getting old, and maybe we need something like an Invincible of like maybe an Omni-Man, someone that comes in just like, hey, I know this shit and I'm the, hero. Do you think
oh yeah,
the
like a
story is
like
getting
a
over with
negative
now?
avatar or something like that that already
You
knows how to be
know,
the avatar. Maybe.
yeah, exactly. Like we're seeing this a third now installment of Avatar, but like I gotta become the Avatar or and now this sister or whatever is gonna be dealing with like having to deal with these
Right.
powers, whatever. And it seems like coming to that role instead of someone that just is that role. And like let's
Right.
see some like fucking ass kicking.
That would be interesting. Yeah, one of the changes they made from Avatar to Korra is, or from Aang to Korra, is Aang had no teacher, so he had to like really slowly
Yeah,
learn everything, and Korra was like just naturally gifted all the elements, but couldn't control
yeah,
them well and couldn't master air at all.
yeah.
So like maybe there's a little MacGuffin with that. Like maybe for some reason they just can't get earthbending, or
Hmm.
whatever it is. But it would be nice if there was just like this fairy, like the White Lotus got corrupted or something like that. Like just
Yeah,
some really OP bender that is matching the avatar for step. That would be cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
especially with the spirit realm like fully open now. Yeah, that's wild to me.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty exciting though.
Yeah. All right. Next up, let's talk about how Marvel Studios is thinking about returning to the Defenders characters after Daredevil. And I'm crazy hyped for Daredevil, but
Yeah, yeah,
if we can
looks
get more
great.
Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I'm on board.
See, I'm not on board. I
Oh
don't give a
no?
shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Daredevil, the thing with Daredevil and like Punisher, you got very extremely popular characters. I
Yeah.
feel like in that Marvel universe, and that's what's pulling it
Hmm.
in. Now, especially watching a trailer for
Yeah.
Daredevil,
Yeah.
and you see him a lot and swinging around on top of like that suit, just kicking ass. I'm like, oh man,
I'm
this is the
there.
first time I've been excited about it. Uh, but I think what's going on is that Disney's continuing what they're doing the most, and it's saturating the universe
Hmm.
like they did with Star Wars. Now, with like Iron Fist, I know he's gained some popularity. Let's just say Marvel Rivals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But to see him in his proper universe would get me way more excited than just having him on the streets with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. And I mean like universe as in like um maybe more involved with like this. Asia type, the hand like feels, you know?
That would be nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know
But
it's
with
DC,
just
but like the Ra's al Ghul aspect
yeah,
of Batman sometimes,
perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Um, but like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They're
Could it
just
be that they're
whatever to me.
too ground level? Is that crazy to
Maybe
say? Like
no,
Daredevil
yeah,
can expand. Like we see Daredevil work with like things like yeah, the hand is a good one, but also like Ghost Rider.
yeah,
So then he's dealing with heaven and hell stuff sometimes.
yeah.
But like it's like he partners up with them. But you don't see Luke Cage do that very often. He
Mm,
doesn't expand beyond the streets, and
yeah.
maybe that could be the problem.
And like then, oh my gosh, him and Jessica Jones, it's just nothing about that is like appealing to me, and that's what I'm saying. We're just gonna get more shows that it's like, okay, whatever. I'm dragging my feet to watch.
Yeah,
Now if they were just like again characters to maybe I don't know, like the Daredevil, like they pop in and out, that's a little bit more exciting.
I
But
could.
anything
Yeah,
that's
the
like just
Punishers.
Defenders by itself, yeah,
Hmm.
like I just don't have any excitement to just Defenders because you're doing Daredevil. It doesn't mean we need to
Yeah,
revive something else. I mean, what do you think? Is
I
anything about
mean
that pulls you in or what?
Iron Fist. I have no interest in.
You
I
know?
think they got to redo
Just
Iron
because he
Fist. Shit like
pisses you off in
he's
Marvel
just
Rivals.
well, that is for sure. Well, yeah. Now I'm playing a lot of Namor, so I counter that little asshole, but which is fun. Got me over here like J. Jonah Jameson, like damn you, Spider Man. But with Luke Cage, I really liked his story. It felt so different than everything else. And Jessica Jones, her bad guy's super good.
Yeah.
She's the actress that plays, and I unfortunately can't remember her name.
Yeah.
She's hella good at it.
But
I
she's
thought
such a whiny bitch, though, Jessica Jones.
you
Like, I'm
thought so. I
sorry.
didn't think so.
Oh my God, just cried about everything, you know? Like, oh my God, just own your powers.
What
God, shut
if
the fuck up.
what if they put her with here we go. I'm gonna watch you get tilted like crazy right now. What if they put her in a new show with She-Hulk?
I'm one of the weird ones. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what? She-Hulk wasn't that bad to me.
I didn't
I
like the
know
way
a
it
lot of
ended.
people.
I didn't mind the show itself. I didn't like the ending, but yeah,
Yeah. I didn't care for that. There are definitely like I'm not like a massive fan of She-Hulk.
yeah,
But there were
yeah. You
some
have to
things
take
that kind
some.
of made me giggle and stuff. You know, whatever. I'm one of the few that probably thought like, it's whatever, not bad. But no, fuck no, no. I don't need to see that. Not at all.
The detective and the lawyer? No, okay, okay,
I mean, I like that. That sounds good. That sounds
yeah,
good. I don't know. There was a lot that I feel like if they do something like with She-Hulk, they'd have to really change her up because a lot of the hate from her, right?
yeah. It's funny because they have to like tone down
Yeah,
the comedy, I think, but it's like okay, that's the one character you could allow comedy, but everybody's so
yeah,
against Marvel comedy right now that it's like that's tough because She-Hulk, that's her whole shtick,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you kind of have to do it with her.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, is that so you think Jessica Jones would only okay? So you put Jessica Jones with She-Hulk, right? To maybe
Yeah.
make something happens.
Or Matt Murdock, like I could see her dealing with
Yeah,
Daredevil in that aspect of it too, like detective lawyer.
yeah,
Because I wouldn't mind like her pushing the detective side of things. That is a really cool part of her.
yeah. I don't know. But as is with Defenders, any of that pulling you in?
I don't care
Nothing.
about the defenders part. I just really want like a Jessica Jones and a Luke Cage
Yeah,
series. I don't want the two of them
yeah,
together necessarily. I mean, like I like when they're together, but that's not like what I want. I don't want to do a show necessarily, but I
yeah,
want a detective show, and I want like Luke Cage cleaning up corrupt people on the streets. Like that's dope.
yeah. But I feel like the only thing that's gonna like reel me in for that is like what you said. If you combine them with another superhero,
Yeah,
because they're too like you said it perfect, too ground level, too like where
yeah,
I'm just watching, feel like a normal show. I mean,
yeah.
like nothing special to it, but like a cop or
Oh
something,
shit!
you
Here we
know?
go. I'm gonna throw something crazy at you now. What if
Okay.
it's like Luke Cage? Like, oh, Iron Fist got kidnapped to Japan. It was the Yakuza. Luke Cage in Japan, in Tokyo, trying to take on the Yakuza.
Mm,
Come on, a little bit
a
good.
little
Like doing
bit, a little.
basically give him like the Ronin stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
cool. At least it's outside of like the
Right.
Brooklyn or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean that'd be something
All
different.
right,
That'd
Disney,
be interesting.
call it
Sign
up.
them, sign them.
We're talking a lot about Marvel today. Let's go ahead and get to the next thing here. Marvel and DC just announced at a new Comic Con. Well, this isn't a Comic Con; it's an industry event. But anyways, they're going to do a new crossover this year. It's going to be one book published by Marvel, one by
God,
DC. This was like in the '90s, the Amalgam
yeah,
universe. Like that's
yeah.
the best. Dark Claw is the coolest dude ever. I mean, he's so cool looking. Uh, what are your thoughts on these crossover events? What was your favorite one in the past? Stuff like that.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite one in the past.
Yeah.
but um, um, I like what they're doing with the how like Marvel's gonna get one and then DC's gonna get one, you
Yeah.
know, and then you kind of like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of the fans that just be like, which one's better than the other? Who did it
Right.
best, right?
Yeah.
But man, like it's what a fan service, right?
I love it.
You know, like who doesn't want to see? Like for me, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course I want to see the Thor, right? The god versus where people think of Superman, which is like
Mhm.
a god too, right? You got you know, people saying that this is God to a real God, and then you got maybe how can maybe Batman can like beat the Hulk, right? But strength and brains, right? You know, something like
Right.
that.
I always like
Um,
Batman and Captain America. Like they're both fighting for good, but clearly like they didn't have different
yeah,
ideals behind that. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, I even got to like, oh, I wonder if like if I'm saying it right, Starfighter, whatever,
Starfire. Yeah. Mhm.
Starfire, yeah, versus like Human Torch or something, you know, like.
Oh yeah,
I,
great
I
one.
want to see these things, and if it's just going to give us like a little snip of that type of life that we'll never see really like continue.
Yeah.
Like
What?
yeah, like tease me a little bit, you know?
Right. Yeah. A lot of the
Yeah,
comments that I've gotten when I was posting about this was saying like they don't want the 1v1, which is kind of the common trope. But then people were like, well, this time Superman's or Thor's gonna whoop Superman's ass. Like there are
hmm
people who want
hmm
like return beefs, but I think it would be cool to see the assembled Avengers and assembled JLA fighting,
Oh
which has
man,
happened in the past. But to me, that's really cool. Is when you actually get like
yeah,
this teamwork aspect going against, I don't know, pick a third thing,
yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah,
Brainiac
yeah.
works with Ultron. God damn, I just wrote it right there. That would be so sick. Holy shit, that'd
Oh,
be
like
awesome.
working together type thing instead of
Like
fighting.
Brainiac
That's
and Ultron
badass.
like meld together.
Oh
Holy
fuck.
cow, that
Oh
would
my
be
God, yeah.
insane.
I would definitely freaking man wet my panties if I could actually see these heroes fight together instead of fighting against
That's
each
what I'm
other.
saying. Like
Yeah.
how that would
Oh
be
man.
so freaking cool. So
Way better. Way much
yeah,
better of a read. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, you're just saying like who shoots better arrows and you just see like Hawkeye with Green Arrow next to each
right.
other and they're like tag teaming it, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah.
yeah, man, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
So hopefully we get some sort of thing like that, like something rips the dimension open or whatever. I do like that. So DC's been open to this project for a while. Marvel is just now coming to the table, and I think it's because Marvel's trying to step up their comic book game.
hmm
Meanwhile, DC's got this absolute thing going on, which I think has been a bit of a banger. Like a lot of people are enjoying a lot of their books.
Yeah.
Marvel's kind of hit and miss right now. What are you mostly reading?
That's funny that you say that. So I'm reading actually both on both sides of the universe.
Hmm.
Let me get the names right here. I got Captain America from 2023.
Yeah.
This is let me get you some details here. Um, written by Michael Starisky.
Okay.
It's basically I like it because just like grounded Captain America, just trying to like live both sides of like trying to relax at the same time, but he's always saving the saving the world, whatever.
Yeah.
Other characters pop in and out, so I like that a lot. And then on the DC side, I think I've told you I was reading this and I really liked it a lot. Was World's Finest.
Oh,
Yeah, some of
such a
that.
good book.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a good
I
line.
think
Yeah.
it's like perfect because you know me, said it all the time. I like just like the originals of things
Yeah.
and this really feels like the original Superman, original Batman, just teaming up and having new stories. And
Yep.
yeah, I definitely love that.
They
What about
just
you?
actually announced a new Batman line, by the way, coming out later this year,
I
and they
saw.
showed the art for it. And I'm like, that's just good old Batman. Good, because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Absolute
yeah,
Batman looks neat, sure, but I'm not interested in it really. I want
yeah,
give me a good old. I mean, I think for him it's like a little bit of blue or something like that. But I'm like, cool, I'm
yeah.
down for that.
It is.
Yeah, right now I'm reading Monstrous, but I just finished rereading Dark Knights of Steel, and and then I just bought another Superman book. I can't remember what it was called. Damn it, it's sitting by the door that I have to get through next. So I'm just trying to
hmm
like. That's my whole thing this year is like comic book wise. I want to read through a lot of trades, and I just like all right before you go to
Yeah,
bed. Read a little bit, kind of get through some of these bigger trades so that you know a little bit more about what you're talking about when you're
yeah.
podcasting,
What
basically.
do you mean, dude? You're the smartest guy here. Come on,
Oh,
man.
please, dear
In the
God,
comic
no.
book universe.
Oh, no, 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 no. Fake it till you make it, y'all. All right. So next up, we're going to be going into the changes that are happening to Marvel Rivals. We'll do the ad right here. Da, da, da. Okay. All right. So Marvel Rivals just had the big patch 1.5. I know you've been in Colorado, so you probably haven't touched this thing yet, right?
I have not. I have not.
Literally after we're done recording, we're doing that.
Oh yeah.
So the thing, Human Torch, one's a Vanguard, a tank. The other one's
hmm
a duelist, a DPS, and they're playing uniquely. So the thing is a brawler. He plays a lot like Hulk, but he doesn't have the jump at all. Um,
hmm
I can counter him pretty good on Scarlet Witch. He does mess up my name more pretty good. Human Torch looks so easy on paper, and they were calling him 3 stars. I'm like, what? I don't think he's 3 stars.
Hmm.
Then in game, because like you try to create these like boxes and stuff like that to like create these like fire boxes, that is a little bit harder to actually master. It's a ton of damage
Oh,
if you can
okay,
get it down
okay.
right, but it's so chaotic, and like if they don't hit, then it's like, oh no, I didn't land it. So then I got to, and meanwhile, I just get picked off by some dude with a gun.
Yeah,
So it really sucks. But they're pretty cool characters. And then we have the entire Fantastic Four, which is cool because they all have a team up together. Like Sue Storm gives everybody a shield
okay.
ability,
Yeah,
but it's cool when you see like all four family members together in a team up page. That's
that's
neat.
cool. Yeah, because I don't think we've ever seen it that many as a team
Yeah,
up, right? It's usually three.
three's the
That's
most.
neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's cool to see them all together. I'm just a Fantastic Four fan
Um,
again.
yeah, and I've read a lot of Fantastic Four, like not like super far back in life and not like really recent.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the skins that they have for Human Torch
Mm,
and the Thing. And
yeah.
it's like, man, this NetEase is going like deep into lore because some of
Deep.
that Human Torch one,
Yeah, from the Annihilation.
Zero.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, like who thinks of that?
I know.
Like I would never in my life. And then like the thing when like okay, that's just like you've seen that one forever, the
That's
trench
just
coat
because they
that
want a
had
lot of
like
money.
how would you not, right? How would you
Right.
not? Because
Yeah.
I'm ready to spend that money too. But yeah, some of these skins that are like so wild and it's like a I don't know what it is. If they just like looking things up real quick or a true appreciation
There's
of
some
what they're
comic book fans
doing,
in that company, I think, that really
Yeah,
know
it
like.
has to be.
Yeah, because I think for Human Torch, I think a company who wasn't familiar with the comic books would have done like, oh, I don't know, Blue Flame or something like that. Like they would have just made something else
Some,
fiery based. But no, they were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's pull from the comic books, and then like they amped up the skin from what it is in the comic itself when he got stuck in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
what is it? I forget that area called. It's where the
Negative or annihilation or
negative zone. Yeah, Annihilation is like the
is it
book, or
negative zone?
Annihilus is the bad guy. But yeah, it's like the negative
Yeah,
zone or whatever. But
whatever. Yeah,
but yeah, anyway, so it's a great story, and
yeah.
it's actually what I kind of wanted to do after after all the Secret War stuff's done. But
Ooh.
yeah, but yeah, so that was a really cool pool on that one, and even like his like win ability, he actually has the rod that he gets from the comic. He holds
Oh
it
yeah,
up
yeah,
and it
yeah,
lights up, and it's
yeah.
actually in his arm in the game too. It's like that's
That's
so
cool.
good.
That's cool.
It's incredible.
So how do you feel at the like these characters right now? Do you feel maybe like, oh, this is how when a character comes out for Overwatch
Yeah.
or is like something like, hey, this feels broken or this is kind of pissing me off. They need to kind of downgrade it a little bit. Do you feel that vibe with these two
Not
characters, or do
yet.
you feel like they're
Actually,
pretty solid?
they're solid. I would say.
Hmm.
I would say that Human Torch is a nuisance, not a threat. And I would say the
Okay.
thing is just a heavier duty DPS right now, as people don't really know how to tank with him yet.
Mm.
I'm seeing a lot of him and Hulk together, which negates both of them because you need somebody with a
Mm.
shield or something like that. Like they're both the same kind of tank, so you're not supposed to do that. But
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
you know. Um,
Mm.
and unfortunately, I'm seeing a couple of them in ranked games, which I'm like, guys, they came out a couple of days ago. None of you all need to have that in my ranked
Yeah,
games. We're taking this shit
that's funny.
seriously over here. So I'm trying to get plat, guys. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
cool. That's cool.
yeah. So, but with these bouncing changes and stuff like that, I feel like the game is still going pretty strong.
Nice.
I mean, they just laid off their Seattle team, and I was very outraged with this at first because I was like, why did you guys lay people off? Like, you guys are doing so
Hmm.
well. And then, after posting videos on it and then discussing it with people who were actually in the field, what they said is it's actually pretty common because when you're getting closer to launch, you build your team up to prepare for launch, make sure everything's perfect. When a game comes out, you know the bugs, it's the Bethesda thing. And
Hmm.
then once the game is successfully launched and in your maintenance mode, then you scale back down to what the
Hmm.
team was always supposed to be. So that kind of made sense more for the layoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just such a tough business to be a game developer, I think, these days.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's almost more like you're real estate, right? You're looking for that work, like unless you have some
Yeah,
solid position in this company of, I don't know, just thinking like Bethesda or something. Like,
right.
ah, man, it's kind of scary sometimes. You're consistently searching for that work. Um, but on a lighter side, though, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that they are when you finish the season pass that you can change your currency to like the blue currency, whatever
Big
you were.
change. Yeah, but it's not
Oh
cheap
my
though, but
God.
that is big. Yeah.
But it's like okay, so a lot of like what you've mentioned to me before, like World of Warcraft, right? Like, oh, we want you guys to play other games, you do your thing and then don't feel like you're tied into it. I feel like Marvel Rivals is doing the right thing to tie you into it, right? It's not wasting your time. Um, I don't know, like that to me. Okay, when I finished season zero, I guess.
Yeah.
That was one of my questions. Like, okay, so what do I do with this currency? Do I earn it no more? Do I care to earn it anymore? Like, who cares
Right.
about the missions, right? Now it's like, oh my gosh, you're giving me a reason to care about these missions and then finish that season pass so I could bring it over to the store and
Hmm.
hopefully unlock a skin there. And I feel like that's a super smart move, um, to kind of keep the player
Yeah.
engaged more
Even like the
or continue to
non-ranked
be
people.
engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even
yeah.
on those missions, like first off, like half the missions are I think on a 7 day timer. The other ones are like on a 50 day timer. So you have plenty of times to
Hmm.
get them done. And if for some reason one of them laps, you could actually you get like these little like rollover things where you can actually bring one back to be able to finish it off.
Yeah,
So you're not like pressured to log in every day. And then if you do log in every day, or once you get them done, you don't necessarily need to be on. You're not going to farm any more battle pass stuff. So it
yeah,
really is like it is both things. Like if you
yeah,
want to just grind this out, they're gonna reward you for that with cosmetics, not any gameplay
yeah,
improvements. But also, if you don't want to do that, you're not gonna get behind. It's a really
yeah.
good mix from a game that kind of feels like I know we knew about it, but it kind of still feels like it came out of nowhere, right? Like
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
this successful and like nail the battle pass in an era when we thought battle passes were all but dead.
Hmm.
I think it's pretty impressive. Do you think this is going to be a resurgence for the battle passes? Because I think, like, other than Fortnite, none of the battle passes are really hitting anymore.
No, and I think it's part 'cause of the whole like bringing the battle pass back if you want to go back and finish it right. I
That's a
think
biggie.
Halo was originally did that.
Hmm.
So it kind of I like it. It keeps you engaged with the things you want. Okay,
Right.
so if I like this current one, this whole vampire theme, whatever, and maybe the next one's gonna be I'm just gonna say fucking I don't know space, whatever, you know.
Hmm.
I'm like I don't really care about those cosmetics, whatever. I could be locked into this one. So like the battle passes are still. I think so. I think they're enhancing now. That now it's and it doesn't feel like Fortnite where I have to hit a level 100 to get
Yeah.
the skin that you sold me on in the fucking trailer.
You're getting a
You
lot of skins
know,
along the way, too, which really feels rewarding.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was like I was playing Fortnite and it was the Marvel
Yeah.
series, whatever battle pass, and the level 100 was like or super high up there was Wolverine, and I'm just like, what the shit? Like I don't 100?
Yeah.
So, and this I haven't got that vibe yet at all, where I'm
Yeah.
struggling to reach the end.
The other thing I think is pretty interesting, just industry wise, is uh, the back in the day when a new movie came out that was cool, a new Star Wars, whatever, they made a
Hmm.
video game for it, and it was
Yeah, yeah.
presumed to be bad, but sometimes they were not. Like the Lord of the Rings games, the Star Wars ones,
Dude, Lord,
they're
fuck
great.
yes.
Remake
Yeah.
them, please. And so I'm wondering because NetEase was thinking about canceling this game because they're like, well, it's not original IP, so we wouldn't fully own it. So they were thinking about canceling this game mid
Oh
development.
man.
Decided to go through with it, and now it's just raking in the cash.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
do you think this might be a resurgence for IP games?
I mean, you like said some of the greatest games ever, like especially with the
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, like or the
yeah,
movies. One of my favorite ones, and I just watched it recently, getting myself ready for Brave New World,
yeah.
was my favorite. I think the greatest Hulk movie, with Edward Norton, and I played that game like crazy. I even owned a T-shirt of like that game cover, like,
Yeah,
and I
not
wish
to
I
spoil
still
it,
had
but
it.
Brave New World is a sequel to that movie.
I know. That's why I
Okay,
watched it. Yeah, yeah.
okay, good.
I heard,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
we'll have to talk later
we
about
will.
the decision on that and how that flows over to what's going on now. But
Yeah,
anyway, um, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like hell yeah. Like I want to see like I like wish that if a Superman movie came out that they would somehow do some type of like Superman
great
video game,
example.
you know?
Yeah,
Because all it is like keeping that hype longer, it's just
yeah.
keeping the name out there, especially with social media nowadays. Man, imagine if I was playing like we were playing like Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers video game after watching Lord of the
Oh, I
Rings.
know.
Like, oh my gosh, like the conversations of Lord of the Rings: Two Towers would continue to go.
Yeah, a House of the Dragon game where you're sitting there doing like
Oh
dragon battles,
man.
or it's like
Yeah.
it's play Civilization but in Westeros. Like it would
Yeah.
not be
Oh,
hard to make the now.
yeah.
Damn, why are we coming up with great ideas? We're wasting them on a free
You gotta
podcast.
stop. Somebody's gonna steal them.
Hit us on the Patreon, guys. You're paying for these ideas. But yeah, I really think like those IP, and I remember when like they announced the was it a Revenge of the Sith game that tied into the movie. They were also talking about like, hey, yeah, we also made a new development in the technology of the bad guys where you see the stormtroopers like try to hang on if you push them off the side, and it's like
Hmm.
that's video game development progression in the technology that happened in a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
It shows that there's something there when you just make those games and you get them out there that could be really solid games.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Lord of the Rings ones. I remember the Helm's Deep battle in the Lord of the Rings
Oh
game.
man. Yeah.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
good. So
Man. I actually own that on the PlayStation 2 still.
If they
Uh,
remade that, oh God, sorry,
man, oh my
yeah.
God,
A little
oh my
little
God,
side thing
I'm
because there's some
crying
leaks
right
going
now.
around. So I got two leaks for you. I want to throw out there. It's kind of off topic.
Oh God, okay,
One
okay.
leak is that they're thinking about bringing back, or that there's apparently going to be an announcement very soon that is going to be the Pokemon collection. It's going to be the first like three
Oh
generations
yeah,
on the
yeah.
Switch. Are you
Fuck
buying
yes,
that?
dude. Hell yes.
That's like a
That is
pre-order.
the
I'm actually going to
childhood
go
comes
to
back.
GameStop and pre-order
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
How wild is that?
Oh man, yeah. Oh fuck yes, man. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, going to your
Like it's
Pokemon home? Like hell
yeah.
yes. Of
Like I play like the emulators, whatever, on the phone. But no, if I
course.
could play like back in, make it feel like I'm playing the original Pokemon on a Nintendo device, like I did in the
Yeah.
90s. Yes,
That's such a
yes.
solid idea. The
Yeah.
other leak is that so right now we're dealing with Dracula, which I love that they
Mm-hmm.
brought in Dracula. People don't know that he's in Marvel Comics and he's freaking awesome in Marvel
Mm-hmm.
Comics. But the next one is going to be Hellfire Gala, according to leaks. So it's going to
Hellfire
be,
Gala.
yeah, X
Okay.
Men, Krakoa. And so we're gonna like we already have some Hellfire Gala skins in the game, so we'll have more of them, and it's gonna be just
Oh,
basically
okay.
like the X Men and um, God, what else happened to there? I think that was when we got the what was the big event that happened at the Hellfire Gala? I can't think of his cable. But yeah, it was the attack on
Mm.
Krakoa. But we had it just in X Men '97 too, like they had that attack on. Maybe that was
Yeah.
Genosha. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Genosha,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, you know what though? So I saw like very well done skin or characters that were going to come out the way they looked, and it was
yeah,
Gambit, Nightcrawler, Beast, Rogue, and Jubilee.
yeah,
And they
perfect for
looked
Hellfire.
like they were pretty darn perfect Marvel
Yeah,
Rival character looking. So I'm like, I don't know if this was like a fan made or a leak, but now that you're saying that, like, oh, this is probably legit information.
and Emma Frost too. I keep seeing Emma Frost keep coming
Oh, I
up
haven't seen that
as a
one.
new
Okay,
Vanguard, and
okay,
she's like one of the leaders that are part of the Hellfire Gala. So that would
okay.
be that'd be really cool.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Yeah,
those are a couple leaks that are out there. The
yeah,
other thing I want to talk about with Marvel Rivals too is everybody talks about like, oh, this is just an Overwatch clone, and
yeah,
yeah, but frankly, it is.
yeah.
Not that I'm not playing the hell out of it though,
Yeah.
But then Overwatch came out with a ton of announcements with this new patch that came out. Have you had a chance to watch all these announcements that came out?
No, and I actually want to ask. I was making sure we didn't skip this because I did read the
Yeah.
notes and it said Overwatch response. So I'm really interested in hearing what these responses were.
I'm gonna pull it up right here. So it is insane, dude. It is literally everything we've ever wanted. So with this new season, they got the perk system. So as you're leveling your character, and say I'm gonna use Orisa because she was my main, is my main.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go back to Overwatch at some point and play that too. But
Yeah, we'll see about
yeah. But say like you get to a certain level, and then you could choose whether or not like I want my shield to be permanent when I drop it down, or I want my guns to shoot twice as fast.
Yeah,
And
so
you
they're doing
could
like this
build
tree
out as
thing.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was supposed to be something that we played in like BlizzCon a couple years ago with that
Yes.
PvE, right?
Aha.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're mixing those together.
They're
Okay.
mixing them together. Another thing is that you're gonna be able to go in third person mode. You're gonna be able to pull back and see from behind your character the whole time.
Do you think that changes too much of the game? Because maybe it's okay. So I think Overwatch is still better than Marvel Rivals. Okay.
Better developed, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think some kind of sexy of that was the first person, shooting aspect of it.
Hmm.
But I kind of was like, oh man, we spent so much money on, well, I have at least on skins and stuff. And it's like, okay, now I could like instead of showing them off to you, now I can see it myself,
Yeah.
while in combat. So, what do you think? Do you think that
I'm definitely
changes
cool
too
with it being
much?
like two different game modes. Like you can only
Yeah.
play with other people because then there's the like where you can peek behind walls if you have that pulled back. So
Hmm.
there's that. But I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah, that's true. That
I
changes a lot, huh?
I think it's something that is an easy addition to the game, honestly.
Yeah.
So might as well just have the over the shoulder. I think it'd be working well.
Mm.
They're supposed to be also adding so like a lot of things we're seeing for people who have been doing the play testing is one of the big benefits to Marvel Rivals is that you get your ultimate fast, and so you feel awesome all the time. They're increasing the
Mm.
rate in which you'll get your ultimate in Overwatch as well, so you'll get your
Mm.
ultimate more often. So things feel cooler, and like some characters are just straight up amping up their damage, so you
Mm.
feel more impactful on the battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're also, they brought back the old 6v6, and there's talks that they're going to make it to where there's no royal role choices in the game, where you can just
Yeah.
play. And they're also changing their battle passes to feel much more like the old way with loot boxes too. They're bringing back the loot
Mm.
boxes fully.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know much about this new game mode where it's like a CS:GO type thing that they're doing with Overwatch?
No, gosh, what is that called? I just saw the
Yeah.
thing for it too. I'm sorry, I don't remember the.
Yeah,
the whole thing
no,
about
that's
it.
okay. I don't know if you like looked at much into it. I just was like, well, I'll just play Valorant. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
fair enough.
that's just where
Yeah,
I belong when it comes to that type of style. So,
yeah.
yeah,
So I think it's. But at first I was like, well, this is Overwatch scrambling, and a lot of
yeah,
the things that were announced we already saw 4 or 5 years ago when we go to BlizzCon. So it was like, well, you guys just greenlit
yeah,
all the shit you had on the back burner,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was kind of like, that's okay, I get it. You guys are desperate now. But then I saw one of the developers, actually a developer we see at BlizzCon all
Mm,
the time, talking about it, the Overwatch guy, and he said something really encouraging. He said, "It we have never had a real competitor before. We've had other
yeah,
people make these hero shooters. We always just outperform them. We
yeah,
finally do."
yeah.
And there's a couple things that brings with it. First off, now we are excited at Blizzard to do
Oh,
better
okay.
and be faster.
Yeah, there you
We are taking
go.
chances that we wouldn't necessarily take before, and we are pushing the pedal to the metal. And he says Blizzard Overwatch, the development team, has been a buzz since Marvel Rivals kind of
Nice,
came out. And I'm
nice.
like, about damn time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we needed. We needed it to be. And then it dawned on me, when did World of Warcraft finally get player housing? When Fantastic 14 when Final Fantasy 14 came out. Like then they started the development of player housing. Like
Mm,
you remember how Dragonflight was like this great expansion for World of Warcraft. It was a
yeah,
revitalization for World of Warcraft.
yeah,
That was in response to Final Fantasy 14 and its success as an MMORPG.
yeah. And I'm
So
shocked to still
yeah,
hear that Final Fantasy 14 is doing really well still.
it's doing well.
Uh,
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah.
but no doubt World of Warcraft's in a better position than it was in
Oh yeah,
Shadowlands.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like maybe this is what Blizzard needs to right the ship. It's a real
yeah,
competition out there, and who's gonna win? Well, us, the gamers. You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I like that one they recognize,
Yes.
and then they tell us like, okay, that we've never had really a competition. So, but what's it gonna take for you to maybe go back to Overwatch? Like, is maybe just
Time.
yeah, what is it? Yeah,
Time. I'll eventually go back. Not.
mm,
I will always be playing Rivals and Overwatch and Minecraft,
yeah,
and saying like it's
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Um, I will definitely play overtime. I love Moira. I love Orisa. I love all of them. So I will go back at some point. It would be nice to see some of these changes kind of reflect. Like immediately release a new character. They announce the next character coming out. Like there's a lot of things that are coming with some rapid fire now.
yeah.
You better hurry up because Marvel Rivals says they're releasing 2 new characters every 6 weeks.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. Yeah, and
yeah,
these are characters that we've grown up with forever, so we have this
right.
deeper attachment
That's a
to.
huge
So
advantage for Rivals. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if they would have that
So
success if it wasn't for that born in IP.
right, yeah, no, no, no.
But I think overall, I think Rivals has been a very good thing for the industry, and it's really kind of it's revitalized a lot of people's interest in. Like I was just
Yeah,
telling you before we pressed record, it's been a while since we've all been in Discord playing video games together. Maybe one of the World of Warcraft patches or whatever. And last
yeah,
night we were all in Discord playing it together, and it was a lot of
yeah,
fun. So
yeah, yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
All right, let's get into our review. We have the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Did you have a chance to watch any of this?
Absolutely not. I have no interest in
You
this.
know what? I will tell you, don't bother.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you
I
right now.
thought you were gonna, I thought you were gonna tell me
No,
differently with that reaction.
no, I went into it with high hopes because I thought, like, hey, Spider-Man cartoons don't miss,
You're so
right?
calm. You were so calm about it though too.
Yeah,
Like it threw me off a little bit.
yeah. Uh,
Okay.
I was excited for it. They made some odd changes for it. I'm gonna spoil some shit, so if you guys don't want to,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, I was excited for it. I'll tell you right now, one of the things right away that was like, this is odd, is when Peter Parker arrives to school, suddenly Doctor Strange is fighting Venom, a symbiote, and so right there, it's like Doctor Strange, why are you doing? Anyways, a portal opens up. Then a spider falls through that portal, and it stings Peter Parker, and he becomes Spider-Man.
Is it like a symbiote spider then, or like
It's a,
where is
it's
that
a,
coming?
yeah, it's something like it's like it's a dimensional
Okay.
spider essentially.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
not like the normal spider
Yeah.
situation. And you'll
Yeah.
note that he doesn't have his super abilities before Uncle Ben dies. Uncle Ben dies already, so he doesn't have that conversation of. Matter of fact, he
Mm.
works with Norman Osborn in this show. Again, I'm spoiling
Mm-hmm.
everything, so be careful.
All
And
right.
Norman Osborn tells him, "With power comes great respect," and that's how he uses it. And it's like, no. So it's like everything's off in this
Yeah.
world, and it just why is it off? I'm not
Yeah.
happy with any of this.
Yeah. That's such a massive tagline to kind of change, but yeah, I thought we were getting like the Amazing Spider-Man from like
And that's what I
back
was
in the
hoping for.
90s.
Yeah, yeah,
And I saw this, and I saw just for like some of the changes that they had in the trailer. So now that you're telling me like the story is being changed
yeah.
too, like Absolutely not. No,
Right, right. The
no,
only thing I
yeah.
really thought was improved was Tombstone, the character Tombstone. I thought they did a
Mm,
really good job with his character, and he might be something I want to follow into the future. The voice actor for the Spider-Man, he's just so flat and boring.
really?
I just don't like him. I don't know how
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like Spider-Man's the most likable superhero,
yeah, yeah,
most relatable kid, and I'm just
yeah,
like, I don't care, dude. Can we go back to your
yeah.
bad guys? I want to see what they're up to.
Oh Lord.
It was
Oh
very
man.
lackluster, and then unfortunately, like, and I'm such a timey-wimey guy, but I love all time travel shit. But at the end, Spider Man's trying to like take down this portal. I don't want to give too much away, but Doc Ock's there, everybody's there, and he's trying to take down this wormhole that Norman Osborn's invented. And guess who comes through there? It is a vet. It's a symbiote, and Doctor Strange is there. He's already there. They start fighting.
Hold on, again?
Doctor Strange opens
Okay.
up with the Eye of Agamotto, a
Okay.
time thing, and then they're fighting at the school. And the spider that they happen to be cloning off of Spider Man, Peter Parker, falls through and bites old school Peter Parker, making him Spider Man.
Old
So
school Peter Parker.
so it's a time loop.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Spider-Man in
Okay.
the
Okay.
future makes Spider-Man in the past. And I'm like, that's cool, but you got to set that bad boy up. You can't just get
Yeah.
us in the
Yeah.
middle of a time loop and then think like we're cool with that. Like, I don't, guys. I'm sci-fi as hell, man. That's Star Trek all day, and even I'm like, that's such loose, crappy time travel.
Man. Ugh. Um. So is that how it ends?
That's how it ends, and then they already greenlit 2 more seasons, so we're gonna get 2 more.
Pull that shit back.
And
Just kidding.
Spider-Man's friends are very interesting. Like we've got some really cool people. Nico's there, I think her name was.
Hmm.
She becomes like a witch, and
Hmm.
Tombstone's one of his friends. Like and he becomes a
Oh.
mob
Okay.
boss. Tombstone's a really cool bad guy.
Oh. Okay.
There's a really a lot of cool side characters. The Green Goblin reveal, like there's no Green Goblin reveal, but you could kind of see some things that are like, oh Norman, that's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But just the way they handled Harry wasn't very good.
Hmm.
It's pretty lackluster. This is
Yeah.
not a fun watch for a Spider-Man show. And the animation was clunky. Like it felt like the frame rates were too low.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah,
Like something done on purpose, whatever.
yeah.
But Mary Jane, is she in here?
Not in
Like
there
we
at
were talking
all.
about
And his
friends?
Spider-Man suit's not in there till like the second to last episode. So there's that too.
Because he has a couple different suits, right?
Yeah, there's a couple
I
of them.
saw.
Yeah, yeah. But like
Yeah,
the
and they're all
actual
like,
like blue and red, I think it's the
yeah.
second to last episode he gets it. It's just like no. Daredevil fucked that up one time. Don't be doing that no more.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad you confirmed that just
Yeah,
to stay away from this thing. Yeah.
yeah. I know I
Again,
recommend a lot
yeah,
of stuff to you. I'm gonna tell you, you
yeah,
can see it. I'm giving this one a soft 6 out of 10. I won't be watching season 2 or 3 personally.
yeah. And this is back to saturating the Marvel universe with just dog shit, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Um,
it would have been a good
so
entrance point for like kids. Like if your kids were like if you're trying to fight like for example, Marco's getting into Spider-Man right now, but
yeah,
because he likes that Spider-Man Amazing Friends thing where it's the three of them
yeah,
doing
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and so I'm like, oh, cool. If this is a new Spider-Man show for him to get into, we could expand his geekdom. But I'm
No,
like, nah, you
no,
can watch
you
the old
sit his
stuff.
ass down and put on the Amazing Spider-Man like we
Yeah,
grew up watching. That's the what
exactly.
you get into.
X-Men '97, like
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like pull up with
But
the
that,
animated
but you
Batman.
know what? That's perfect though. The 97. That's allowed. That's allowed.
Oh yeah, I love X-Men '97. It is some of the best. I just today actually put it out on Threads like Magneto was right, just because it was like it's been a while since I've tweeted about it. So, but yeah, so I'm giving that again, guys, 6 out of 10.
Yikes.
Mostly because there were some really good side characters. Otherwise, it probably been a 4 out of 10. Frankly,
Ugh. Yikes.
I know. I don't like doing it. Let's end things off with our recommendations for the week. What do you got for me, Squeaks?
Ooh. So if you haven't picked it up now, if you got to buy it, or if you happen to have a Game Pass, gotta check out Avowed. I really enjoyed it so far, and I
Oh,
was a little.
I didn't know you were playing it.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I'm a fucking Harry Potter in that shit, bro. Just whack
How
with the
far in are
wands.
you, by the way?
Ooh. I feel like I played maybe in like the 5-6 hour area.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
next week, one way or another, I'd like to get a
yeah,
review for
yeah.
that
Let's
game
talk
for me.
about it. Yeah, yeah.
I am gonna play that game. It's just right now there's too many other things to play. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no. How about you play some and then we'll definitely talk about it together.
Okay.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. I think I've seen some videos that kind of turned me off a little bit, and that was with
Right. There's
combat.
been a
But
lot of it.
no,
Yeah.
like no, it's good. I like it. It's very beautiful, colorful. Um, I like the uh companionship with it.
Okay. I haven't heard
As in
about
like
that one yet.
NPCs actually
Yeah.
feel like they're, part of your team. So it gives you that feel of like, hey, I'm playing multiplayer, but I'm really just playing by myself. And then like I like the classes, and I'm going spell because I usually do like a melee type thing in a
Yeah.
lot of games, and I'm sticking strictly with it. So there are ways that you can switch off to like, hey, I can have a sort of shield and cast spells, but I'm like, you know, I'm going balls deep into wizardry, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I'm gonna
So
probably go
yeah,
Archer, so I'll get a couple hours in this, and then we'll have to
yeah,
do a full review for this.
hell yeah,
Um,
yeah.
couple things I've heard from a couple people I follow that gave it a
Hmm.
good review is they said that like while Dragon, because I really like Dragon Veil,
Drag,
uh,
yeah,
Dragon Veil,
okay.
yeah,
Dragon Age, Dragon
Dragon
Bell,
Age. There it is,
Bell,
Veilguard.
yeah, Belguard, yeah.
The thing with that one, everybody says is like, oh, the combat's fantastic, but the story sucks. And they're saying with Avowed, the
Mm.
story's good, but the combat sucks.
I don't think the combat sucks.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I mean, we're used to we played you know what I will say? This is Obsidian games, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
from like creators of like Oblivion, right?
Yeah.
It actually, what's nice, it actually feels nowadays uh
Skyrim. Okay.
Oblivion games, Skyrim, that's upgraded instead of which is better than Starfield. How Bethesda come out with these games, they all feel the same and look the same.
So funny you
Um,
say that. Literally, another guy I follow said like, if you like Skyrim, it's just Skyrim with better graphics. It's they literally
yeah,
didn't improve on Skyrim. They just made
yeah,
it today. It's like, oh,
yeah.
that's what I
And and then
wanted.
I'm like, this is the reason why I bought my Xbox was for Starfield.
Hmm.
So like now when I'm playing this game, like, oh shit, maybe this was the reason because this is basically like playing that type of
Obsidian
game,
is so
but
good.
just
Yeah.
now,
Okay.
nowadays graphics. Uh, yeah. So I think it's great. I like it. I'm having a fun time with it right
We'll
now.
do a full review next week, guys. I'll get a
Yeah,
couple hours in as well, and then you keep progressing, and we'll get a full review on the books
yeah,
for
yeah.
that. For me, following Spider-Man show that I clearly didn't care for too much, I was reminded of a Marvel animated series that I think is so damn good, and unfortunately only got like 2 seasons. Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes. It is
Oh, okay.
spectacular, and it is pretty damn comic book accurate. It has so many of the great villains that you don't see in like a big MCU thing. It is very, very good Thor. It's great,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
starts off with kind of like the cookie cutter book close story of how the Avengers started and like how Black Panther's spying on them and stuff. Great. It does an
Oh man,
excellent
yeah.
job with Hank Pym, which I think Hank Pym is criminally underused in the MCU. It gives Hank Pym his due. Gotta check it out, guys. That's Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes. I believe it's still on Netflix, and it's only like 2 seasons. It is fantastic. They ended up redoing. They ended up canceling the show and making a new version of the show based off the MCU after the MCU's hit because it kind of like was around that time as the first Avengers,
Mm.
and that ruined it. They should have stuck to the original, but it's all right. Hey, what are you gonna do? It's the money's the money.
Oh man, that's a good one.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us this week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take it.
Bye.